For billions of years, the Sun has been the one force in our solar system that nothing could challenge. A furnace of roiling plasma. A ruler of light and gravity. Its solar wind, an endless flood of charged particles, streams outward at hundreds of kilometers per second, shaping planets, grinding asteroids, and defining the very boundary of our cosmic home. Nothing in nature has ever diverted it. Nothing has ever dared to interfere with its breath, until now. Early in the year, researchers studying data from NASA's Parker Solar Probe and the European Solar Orbiter found something they weren't prepared for. A subtle warping inside the solar wind. A bend. A curve. At first it looked like noise, some glitch, some calibration issue. But then both spacecraft, separated by millions of kilometers, recorded the same unnatural distortion. The solar wind wasn't just rippling, it was being guided. Shaped. Bent along a smooth, symmetrical path, as if a massive unseen presence were pushing against it. And at the heart of the distortion was one tiny traveler. 3I, ATLAS, the mysterious interstellar visitor. At first, astronomers assumed it was just another icy wanderer drifting in from deep space. But that theory collapsed almost immediately. 3I, ATLAS wasn't simply reflecting sunlight. It was modulating it, its brightness shifting in rhythmic intervals, almost like it was syncing itself with a hidden frequency. When the James Webb Space Telescope locked onto it, the results shook every research team involved. This object wasn't just interacting with sunlight. It was communicating with it. The day the Sun spoke back. The Parker Solar Probe was closer to the Sun than any human-made object has ever been when its instruments began to scream anomalies. The solar wind, normally a uniform, outward surge, had developed graceful arcs, as if flowing around some invisible magnetic barrier. But nothing that small should have had any influence at all. Every simulation failed. Every model collapsed. No comet, no asteroid, no natural object could twist plasma with such precision. This was intentional. And when analysts overlaid the timing of the solar wind distortion with Webb's light curve data, the truth snapped into focus. Every time 3I, ATLAS released a stronger pulse of reflected light, the bending of the solar wind intensified. When the pulse dimmed, the distortion relaxed. Plasma and light were responding in perfect synchronization. This was not coincidence. This was a system. A mechanism. A technology. The impossible engine. To push aside the solar wind, an object would need an immense magnetic field, stronger than anything Earth generates. Only planets and stars wield that kind of power. Yet 3I, Atlas, barely a few hundred meters wide, was generating a magnetic shell stable enough to redirect a star's outflow. A pebble carving a clean path through a stellar hurricane. Computer models showed the power requirement, billions of watts. More energy than many nations produce. But Webb's infrared readings confirmed it. 3I, ATLAS was absorbing solar radiation, converting it into electromagnetic force, and using that force to shape its own protective field. Not to survive, but to operate. This was engineering so advanced no human blueprint could match it. Not propulsion. Not shielding. Control. A glimpse of a Type II civilization for decades, scientists have used the Kardashev scale to imagine civilizations more advanced than us. Type I harnesses a planet. Type II harnesses a star. If something can bend a star's wind as effortlessly as 3I, ATLAS did, then it is no myth. No theory. No speculation. It is evidence. A fingerprint of star-level technology drifting directly through our system. And yet, the implications may be even stranger. What if this isn't a machine, What if it isn't technology, the way we understand the word? What if it's an evolved entity, something that long ago shed the limits of biology and rose into a form built from energy, magnetism, and radiation? Not a vessel. Not a craft. A being. For most of human history, the sun was the one constant we trusted. The anchor of our existence. The unshakable heart of the solar system. Nothing could touch it. Nothing could alter its breath, the solar wind. Nothing could reshape its light. But that belief died the moment 3I-ATLAS arrived. When the interstellar object slipped into our system, it didn't roar or crash or ignite. It simply moved, silent and unassuming. Yet every instrument watching it began reporting the same impossible phenomenon: the solar wind was bending. Not deflected by a magnetic field, not distorted by natural outgassing, but manipulated, as if something aboard 3I-ATLAS was shaping plasma itself like clay. This was the first crack in the illusion that the sun was beyond influence. Light began to carry patterns shortly after. A rhythm appeared in the sunlight scattering off the object. Not a random flicker. Not a reflection. A signal. Repeating. Structured. Mathematically elegant. It was as if sunlight had become a messenger, carrying information encrypted in the brightness and timing of each pulse. When the James Webb Space Telescope redirected its gaze, it uncovered something even more disturbing. The same rhythm wasn't just in the light, it was in the surrounding spacetime itself. A lattice. A pattern. Something was communicating. Something ancient. Something aware. Suddenly, the narrative changed forever. The universe is not quiet for generations. We convinced ourselves that space was a silent arena. A cold, indifferent vacuum waiting for us to explore. But 3I-ATLAS proved otherwise. It showed us that the universe is alive with interaction. Filled with mechanisms and intelligences that shape the environment in ways we never imagined. For the first time, humanity saw evidence that something out there possesses the ability to manipulate stellar winds, imprint information onto light, travel between systems without decay, observe us without ever announcing intention, and all of it was done effortlessly, almost casually. As if bending the wind of a star was a reflex, not a display of power. A message, not a visitor, scientists debated. Was 3I-ATLAS a vessel? A drone? A probe? A fragment of a larger construct? But the deeper the analysis went, the clearer the real possibility became. Maybe it wasn't carrying intelligence. Maybe it was intelligence. Not biological. Not mechanical. Something older. Something built from the materials of space itself, a consciousness formed from plasma, magnetic fields, and geometric structure. And from the moment it entered our solar system, it never altered course. Never signaled back. Never responded to our attempts to communicate. It didn't need to. It was already watching. Why now? As 3I-ATLAS drifts back toward the edge of the solar system, one fear continues to echo in every scientific meeting, every classified briefing, every late-night debate. What kind of civilization bends the wind of a star, and why did it choose to reveal itself now? Was it warning us? Testing us? Measuring how we react to the unknown? Or maybe, just maybe, it was leaving behind a demonstration. A proof that advanced life doesn't conquer through force, it communicates through the fabric of physics. A message written not in words, not in radio signals, but in the behavior of a star. The search continues because somewhere in the darkness beyond the sun's reach, beyond the heliopause, beyond the region we pretend is empty, something is still bending the wind. And if 3I-ATLAS was only the introduction, then the real message, the one meant for us,